Hey guys, so thanks to Fandango, I got a chance to see The Secret Life of Pets before it's released on July 8th. So, The Secret Life of Pets. This is a film directed by Chris Renaud, who also directed The Lorax and both of the Despicable Me movies. It's mostly about two roommates learning to get along. The movie starts with introducing Max, who is voiced by Louis C.K., and you discover how close of a relationship Max and his owner, Katie, have. Max has a pretty good life, and then his owner unexpectedly brings home a new dog from the pound. This dog is named Duke, and he's voiced by Eric Stonestreet. Duke tries to be nice to Max, but Max refuses to accept that there's a new dog in his house and that there's a new dog in Katie's life. Once Duke realizes that Max does not like him and Max start to fight for control over Katie's apartment and attempt to get rid of each other. During one of Duke's attempts to get rid of Max, they're attacked by cats and captured by animal control. From there, they must start their journey and find their way back home. So, I went into this film not expecting it to be good. It looked like a typical Pets movie, and the trailers made it look like we'd be watching a concept that has been explored over and over again. It also didn't help that before the movie, a Minion short played, and that was just typical Minions, and I do not care for the Minions. The movie then kicked off, and it was not very entertaining watching everything that was shown from the trailers. But once the initial introduction was over, the movie started to really kick off. It was really entertaining and funny, and there wasn't a single joke that fell flat with the audience, many of which were kids under 12. But the jokes were well suited for adults too. The only one that fell flat with me was the one shown in the trailer with Kevin Hart's character, the rabbit. And it did not work for me, but it worked for the rest of the audience, including my siblings, so I mean, it did its job. I'm going to start off with what I disliked about this movie, because overall, I thought it was a pretty good movie, and I don't want people remembering the negatives because I had it at the end of the video. First off, Minions. If you don't want to see the Minion short, which I definitely did not want to, come a little bit late. The short is about 8 minutes, and it's typical Minions, just doing their typical stupid stuff. Once the movie started, the pacing was pretty good, but the transitions from story to story felt really awkward. There's also one sequence in the middle of the movie that was really out of place and just awkward, and it did not make any sense. I don't want to give anything away, but it's basically the two characters eat a lot of food, which then causes them to hallucinate and act drunk. I don't know, it didn't belong in the movie, it didn't make any sense, and there's a lot of other places in the movie that could have been expanded to lengthen the runtime. It was a pretty short film, by the way. It's about an hour and 40 minutes. I think the story should have spent more time developing the initial relationship between Max and Duke. The two characters are first introduced, and then they begin fixing their relationship. Also would have been much better than the out-of-place sequence with food hallucinations, and apparently how food makes dogs drunk. I don't know. Another thing that I didn't like about this film was how the secondary characters were really pushed aside. The film didn't spend much time developing the characters other than Max, Duke, and occasionally the white dog, Gidget. The writers didn't even do a good job for what could have been a great story and internal conflict for Duke, and instead they just pushed it off and just forgot about it for the rest of the movie. It would have been a really interesting thing to see, and you'll know what I'm talking about once you see the movie. As if that wasn't bad enough, the other secondary characters were really shallow and one-dimensional. Now on to the good parts of the movie, like the amazing soundtrack. It fitted well with all the sequences, and the jazz gave the film an enthusiastic and adventurous mood. It was just really fun to watch and listen to the music as the dogs are running through New York. The New York skyline in this film looked incredible. It was especially beautiful at night. The animators did such a great job of capturing New York and capturing the beauty of the city rather than the pollution. They just really tried their best to make this city look clean and nice. All the animal movements felt natural, and each animal had a different style to them. One of the things that I loved about this movie is the trailers didn't give away much at all. They basically just showed the introduction of the movie, and there was much more to explore. There was even a love interest that I didn't know about going in, and it was handled really well, and didn't feel forced, and did not ruin the movie at all. Overall, I think this movie is a solid B. After the introduction, I had a blast, and the overall movie was really entertaining, and it was not forgettable. I would definitely recommend this for kids, adults, and especially pet lovers. The movie featured all sorts of pets, not just the advertised cats and dogs like in the trailers. The ending of the movie was just really satisfying, and it wrapped up the film perfectly. It was definitely one of my favorite parts. Although The Secret Life of Pets had a few negatives, it was really mostly positive, and as a film that I did not expect to be good, and as a concept that I thought was really overplayed, it took a creative new spin on pets, which I really appreciated, especially the style of the movie and the animation. It was just great. Make sure you guys check it out in theaters on July 8th. For those of you who have seen The Secret Life of Pets, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. P.S. There's a short clip about a few minutes into the credits, but after that, there isn't much at all. The very, very end of the credits is just a line of dialogue saying, "Party's over," so you don't really have to stay for that.